Good evening.
Good evening.
I
Why is this a
am...
debate show? Like, it sounds like a debate.
Sir, don't interrupt.
What is it, sir?
Fellow listeners, I, Anthony, of the House of Balogun, I am
Slick.
against capital punishment in all forms. Right here. Sang?
I sang House of Nguyen. I'm neither for or against capital punishment per se, but I do have. I'm more leaning towards those who commit the crime should probably pay for the crime. So
you're leaning towards.
towards.
This is kind of just a quick summary. You know?
And if you do take someone's life, maybe you've given up the rights to yours. So that's.
So you're for it.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards, yes.
Okay. Very roundabout way of saying I'm for it, but sure.
Should be
Kind of
Tory.
In case any of you missed his message, he's for it.
Yeah. I am Precious, and I guess we're going with this House of John theme.
I mean, I want it to be individual, but it's okay.
No,
you
no,
had
no,
no
it-
originality.
it-
It's a bit mad. But okay, cool.
Yeah, man. If it's nice, copy it. Yeah. So you know where I am from.
Wow.
Like Gary's getting to your head.
I don't even know
Wow,
what's
just
going
lost in the Gary.
on. Lost in the game.
Okay, capital punishment. I am for it, but I also recognize it is entirely subjective, and the laws around whether or not it's carried out need to be a lot more extensive.
But he's for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Darren. Hello, guys. I am against capital punishment in all its forms. So I don't believe if you were to kill somebody, I don't believe the penalty for that should be the taking of your life. Yeah, that's pretty much where I stand.
How about you, Anubis?
I agree with Darren and Anthony. I do not believe capital punishment should be introduced. I'm not going to give a whole explanation. And yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So who starts?
I guess start with the people for it. Why are you for it?
I mean, my sense of
Wait.
sorry, saying.
Yeah,
Sank
no,
first,
oh,
let's
yeah,
first.
cool.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh, no.
you go first, Precious. So.
Because you didn't talk that much in the Wonder stuff, so you can talk now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So capital punishment has its flaws. I'm going to start off with. Obviously, there are innocent people who get caught up with death penalties because the system is flawed.
They only get one. They don't get two. Fact. Yeah.
Yeah, like you have to get absolutely right, which is always hard practically to do. So I'm more in the view that you need to be 100% sure that that person committed that crime
It's quite hard
to
to
commit
be
that.
100% sure.
Again, so therefore, most people in my world would not receive capital punishment because it's really hard to prove it. Unless you've got like some sort of footage of someone stabbing someone, then you can't really be sure that person committed the crime. But
If you had a chip, it might be quite.
maybe
might
he had a
also-
chip, but I mean,
Sorry, go on.
maybe.
Sorry, this nigga slid it in there.
And the way he just agreed to it, like,
No.
oh yeah, like yeah,
I didn't
oh
agree.
maybe, yeah,
I said maybe.
yeah, maybe.
But again, location doesn't prove everything. So, moving on.
It was a kind of chip.
So, but I do think
Things
people should
getting
be
chippy.
punished. or people do commit crimes that deserve death. But I don't agree that the states or the government in this country, say, should have the power to, or have too much power to, to issue death
They
penalties.
would have to if
So-
that's a
It-
law.
so-
So are you
in my
saying,
eyes-
are you saying mob rule?
Are you
No,
a
no,
vigilante?
I don't know what the solution is, but I wouldn't want to give this government that much power. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so
So to sum up, you're for it, but you don't want the government to do it. So you'd rather do it yourself.
I didn't say that. I
Not
didn't say that.
yourself, but like
No, I'd want some other solution that someone could come up with, but that doesn't give the
That
state
enforces-
too much power. Yeah.
but maybe it's not okay. So it's not the state that
So it's not
enforces
gonna be
capital punishment.
regulated.
So it's like a private company.
Maybe one that's audited, extremely.
By who?
Who?
Audited
Yeah,
by who?
who?
by the government.
Maybe by the public. I don't know.
By the
By the
pub?
By the
Again,
pubs.
again,
Some more
like I said,
rule.
I don't have the solution to this.
The same
But
public.
I
I
wouldn't
voted for
be
Brexit.
I wouldn't be comfortable.
It's true.
I didn't say my solution is that, but again, I wouldn't want to give too much power to the state because you can make more mistakes. But maybe they are the solution. Who knows?
I kind of understand the point, but I feel like it's kind of oxymoronic because
Sure.
you can't have, yeah. I'd just like to bring up a receipt you said yesterday.
Oh.
I haven't decided by after watching Jodi Arias
Arias.
videos
Arias,
on
yeah.
YouTube, but I'm for it.
So again,
Let's explain what
Yeah, what-
Jodi
what
Arias
happened
case
was-
was.
she had it was a premeditated murder of her ex-boyfriend. She traveled she basically stalked him.
Mhm.
I think she even had sex with him, and ended up stabbing him 27 times, slit his throat, and shot him in the head.
Mhm.
I can't imagine allowing that kind of person to live. I mean, like I said, if you kill someone, I think you've forfeited your rights to live.
Mhm.
Because you said so.
Well, I mean, why are we speaking? So,
I mean, I have another one here. Imagine murdering someone and you get prison only. Mad.
yes. So
No,
I feel like we should let his points come up naturally.
Mhm.
No, I thought no, because that aligns
So-
with what he was just saying.
yeah. So yeah, if you kill someone, I don't think you deserve to live. That's the way I see it.
So is it the method of the murder that matters to you?
It doesn't really matter.
So the severity of the
It's
murder
more-
is what matters.
Yeah, it's more.
So how does
Intent
how do you-
and-
no,
So me premeditatively. I don't know what the word is. but anyway.
Premeditated. Yeah,
Yeah.
premeditated.
No. So
yeah.
not premeditated, but
Premeditated.
Oh, seems like someone else is
Meditative,
stumbling
is
over
it?
words.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Meditatively.
Yeah, yeah.
Murdering
That's
someone.
what I said. Premeditatively. Anyway. It's not what this word. Oh shit! Damn!
Wait, didn't you study like English or history or something?
Oh no!
Easy on him.
Oh,
Yo,
whoa! What's he saying? Degree in the bin? Mad. Is that what you're saying, son?
listen.
Wow.
All I know is that word is getting the death penalty because it killed me. That's all I know.
He lost his.
Nah.
He forfeited his right to live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
wow.
But anyway, what I'm saying is,
Sure.
is if I set in my mind to avoid that word, to go kill Anubis and I just shoot him, for example, or I stab him, or I drug him, or whatever, I possibly may or may not get the death penalty. In comparison to if I kill Anthony and I stab him 50 times
Right now,
premeditated.
just because he looked at him funny.
I think the severity of what you did to Anubis, yeah, is like one. They're both really bad, but one is like above the other because you.
I mean, first of all, Black
you
Lives Matter.
intentionally killed that
but-
person. Yes, you did a
Yes.
severe, more severe death to Anthony. But if it's like reactionary, let's say Anthony threatened you with a knife and you stab him back 50 times,
That's
That's
self-defense.
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 That was
yeah.
going to be my question. So
To the
if your
point.
if your statement is, if you murder someone, you forfeited your right to live. So in your opinion,
Sure.
if that statement holds true, then how does that account for self-defense? Because
So-
you've just killed this person.
So I wouldn't give the
You
death penalty.
forfeit
I wouldn't give the death penalty for self-defense.
Still killed someone though.
Yeah.
You didn't have to kill them. You could injure them.
So you only talk about murder in the first degree.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So I would only give the capital punishment for murder in the first degree.
What about someone who was drink driving?
So I wouldn't give them the death penalty.
But
It
they
wasn't
were drink driving.
intentional.
They were drink driving.
They were drink driving.
and
They should get prison.
They killed the family.
They killed a family. I mean, it happens, obviously.
So you're saying.
But it wasn't like he
I think-
he didn't like, get out and say, I'm going to kill this family.
But what difference
You-
does it really make?
Because
I
one
mean-
is calculated and one is not.
I guess
No, it is calculated.
it
because
can
you
be-
chose to-
yeah.
Yes.
You chose
yes,
to drink.
There we go.
it can
I
be
mean,
argued that
it-
if you chose to drink and you chose to drive afterwards.
Sure, but you didn't say,
What-
oh, I'm going to go kill someone today.
What if this
No,
person
I,
had?
was just,
Okay.
I just drank and
What-
I hit
what if
someone.
this
No,
person
but you
was a
got in the
drink driver
car
before.
after drinking, knowing that
Which
you
is
could
illegal.
possibly do that, which
Yes,
is illegal.
which
so
is
you're
illegal.
breaking the law.
But I personally think if you calculate
No, but
killing
there's no
someone,
way
that's
to
different.
Prove calculating killing someone.
Sure, it's very hard to prove it.
No, not very.
Very-
hard.
very
You don't
difficult.
know.
So that's
The
why.
reason you have to go off of is evidence. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's
Yeah.
what
So
I'm confused
in my
about.
world, like capital punishment might be like 2 deaths per year.
Per
because
year.
It's very hard to prove it. Like
What?
So if they
I,
killed,
like, for
So
example,
if,
if
if
someone's
there's
got-
legitimate proof,
Like,
of
I
5
got-
instances, so you kill only 2 people in that year.
So you're
just to
saying there's only
satisfy that
special
quota.
spots.
No, it's not that. I'm giving you like an arbitrary figure, a very low figure intentionally because it's very hard to prove such a thing. But if you have like some sort of diary, okay,
I mean,
I've
a lot of
tracked down his
people are in prison for
location.
murder, so I guess like it is easy to prove.
Yeah.
Like, so
Not prove 100% that you calculated that murder and you intentionally went out
So
to kill
if it's
someone.
99% proven, you're not killing them.
Probably not.
wait,
It has to be 100% concrete proof.
So you're saying that okay, if I premeditate and go and kill someone,
Yes.
I deserve to die, and I kill one person, but if I suddenly just something happened like right now and I kill like a bunch of people
Sure.
and it wasn't really premeditated, like I'm a normal person, blah blah blah.
Sure.
People snap that that person doesn't deserve capital punishment under your eyes because it was just a
Sure.
flick
And
of a button.
and you guys would agree with that too, because you guys don't believe in capital punishment. Agreed?
No, I'm
No,
trying
but-
to
no,
understand
but-
your.
Yeah.
but-
I would agree with that, because one is like in
Wait,
the
wait.
moment.
So you're saying the second person doesn't deserve it.
No, well, that's the
Probably
answer.
not. Probably not.
Yeah.
Because one is like, okay, let's say I'm a gang member and I want to kill this other gang member. Yeah, you deserve to die.
That's different. That's clear intention. What if? Okay,
Yes, that's clear
some-
intention. Death penalty.
Someone breaks up with someone. They kill someone. Okay, that's very cliche. They kill the person.
Probably life.
You're saying they don't deserve capital punishment.
If it's like literally spontaneous, like, but if you calculate, okay, this is what my exit is going to be. I'm gonna bring a knife or a gun, whatever, and kill them. Yeah, you deserve to die.
what do you consider by life, like in terms of imprisonment?
That's crazy.
And for the rest of your life.
Okay.
I believe like 25 years or whatever. So, in my world, the reason why I said 2 people is because it's very difficult to prove
So
that someone
just
calculated
a
it.
question on your 100% theory. So, number one, how the hell do you determine 100% that someone is like responsible for this matter, or 100% guilty?
So this is where you go
Because
to the,
you've
go
got
to the
things like
evidence.
lawyers, you've got evidence.
Sure.
It's either guilty or not guilty.
Yeah.
Like,
Like people, like
Yeah,
I said,
so-
people
so-
are already in prison for like committed murders or not.
Sure.
What then determines why they should die or not? Because if you're going by percentages,
The
there's
intention.
probably never going to be a 100% case that shows that this is.
Uh,
Or there probably might be. You don't know.
So, again, you need to have the evidence, i.e., diaries or messages to people. Oh, I got this weapon. I'm gonna go kill this X person.
yeah, but how often does that happen?
Yeah.
Like,
And
But
also,
if you find the evidence, that's enough to kill that person via capital
yeah,
punishment.
but then also that takes away from the fact that, like, how do you decide that? Because
I just
you've
told
got
you,
you've got
you need
things
to have
like
evidence.
what if it
wait,
happens
wait,
all in
no.
like a day?
No, you've got things like, say, juries, for example. All it would take is one member of that jury to be slightly impartial or be torn between yes or no. And then how can you say that's 100% a reason for them to be killed if it's
Well,
based on like a jury,
not-
for example?
I'm not saying it's based on the jury. I'm just saying if it
that
is
not how-
100%,
Is that not how cases are
like
solved?
unanimous by the judge, by the judge, jury, whatever, whoever's judging it,
Mm-hmm.
living tribunal,
And hopefully
um,
not the executioner.
then they just need 1,000,000%. Yeah, that person intended to kill the X person, which is very hard to prove. That's why I said the low number of 2. But for the
So
case,
basically, you're saying for 1% of murder cases, there's going to be capital punishment.
Yes, yes, so
Essentially
it-
what you're saying.
Okay,
So what's the point of capital punishment?
Okay, hold on.
because
Just in that
this
scenario-
person's very dangerous. That's why.
in just this scenario of that whole person break up and someone. Okay, what is the difference between the person has broken up with someone, they've come back a day later and then murdered them
Sure.
over they've murdered them in that moment.
In that moment, well,
What is the
again,
difference?
one is calculating to kill that person. One is in the moment.
Yeah, but what if that moment? Oh yeah, they were calculating, and then in that moment it was a switch, and then they killed them.
Well, the difference, I guess, is just time. But in my eyes, I think that calculation period makes you dangerous.
I mean, you could
Rather
still
than someone
calculate
who,
over a short period of time.
like, yeah, like you can just
Because
calculate in that instance.
it's not like you just think to yourself like. In fact, that's the point. You think to yourself. For example, Anubis does something right now. I go over there, grab a knife, kill him.
Mm.
I've just thought about doing that. It's not. I've not just gone like that. Like it's not an impulse like reaction.
How far does, or how low does the premeditation have to go?
Yeah, what's the time span?
Yeah.
I don't know what arbitrary number to go with in terms of time,
Mhm.
but at least a day, I suppose.
That is crazy.
Okay, so I can spend 23 hours, 59 minutes planning someone's death.
12 hours.
Well, like I said, I don't know the time, but I suppose a day or a couple of hours or even an hour. I don't know. All I know is if it is premeditated, you're a very
Mhm.
dangerous person to society. I wouldn't want you to be living.
If
Personally. That's the way I see
Great.
it.
Do you know what's mad? I'd rather want someone who premeditates their murder over someone who just snaps and murders people.
Sure. That's,
as
that's-
in out in society.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like,
because
because they're kind of premeditating for a reason. They're not just going out killing
It's
people.
based on like emotion and
Yeah,
whatever.
and there's a motive.
But,
There's,
but you say that, but look at the guy who killed all those kids in Norway. Like that could happen to you. The reason why I bring that up is because in your case, you're thinking if someone snaps, they're dangerous to the vicinity that they're in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the person who can kill multiple people, especially as well, is even more dangerous
Could you explain that case?
because
No, what happened in the case?
Yeah.
I
oh,
don't- I
okay,
don't know.
I don't
sorry.
know
So
what
basically, this guy
there's a guy
was like
kids and-
proper and like far right activist, whatever. He had
Mhm.
like his own, what do you call it? Those documents that they live by.
so he was far
Doctrines,
right.
yeah, like.
So we started.
And he was really upset about like the increasing amounts of immigrants and Muslims in Norway or something like that. So
Mhm.
then he went to this island and started killing Norwegian kids,
Mhm.
like teenagers. He killed like 30 kids or something like that. He blew a bomb somewhere in Oslo, I think.
Okay.
I'm not too sure of the story.
That's
it's-
not a snap. Like
That's premeditated.
yeah, that's premeditated. That guy deserves to die. And right now he's living in a sick Norwegian prison right now.
yeah, that's
Like
not,
he's
but-
getting
yeah.
a slap on the wrist. Honestly, he deserves to die, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Do we know that he's in the good part of the prison though?
So you're
Oh
saying,
man, they showed pictures on the newspaper and
so
everything.
you're saying if he wasn't a far right activist and if he just randomly went to Norway one day and started killing random kids, he doesn't deserve.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve capital punishment.
I mean,
I just think at the very least, baseline, those who do premeditate do deserve capital punishment, and maybe there's like a line drawn like
For
it
me,
includes like under people who don't premeditate.
For me, yeah, it's too difficult for what you're saying because you'd have to look at all of these cases in so much detail, and it's so difficult to determine whether someone is 100% deserving of the capital punishment. Because even if you look at capital punishment, it doesn't even prevent murders. Murders still happen in America all the time. Like
Okay.
it doesn't prevent it. So
Yeah, there's no statistic that shows that it's a deterrent, right?
like anything, like prison's a deterrent. It's
I'm-
probably not as
I'm-
big of a
But
deterrent,
in my
but-
case, I'm not using it as a deterrent. I'm using it to get rid of these people from society.
yeah. But you can do that in a prison.
You can, but if the prison breaks,
What is a
but,
prison gonna
or,
break? It's
or,
not-
or it
it's
might
not
be
Marvel.
it might be justice for the families who are affected by these killers.
Yeah, those people are off the streets. They're never going to be seen again. They can just about see their
I mean,
family once a month or whatever.
Again, this
That's
is
not a life,
this is
in my
where I'm a
opinion.
bit confused with capital punishment because, for example, in my case,
Mhm.
I feel like these people deserve death in those scenarios. But is it via capital punishment? Is it via me? If it is directly related to me? So one case
vigilante.
in Connecticut, 2007, Cheshire, there was this doctor whose 2 daughters, one wife. These 2 guys came in, strapped him up, raped his wife, raped his 2 daughters, one of which was 11 years old, and burnt them alive. Do you think they deserve to live?
In prison, yeah.
Me personally, I want them to die.
I
That's
mean-
justice.
What justice based on what? Because you feel like it is.
Because
But
no,
Just based on vengeance is what that is.
But according to your point, if they were just passing the house and then suddenly
but
done it,
like I said, I'm not saying like all non-premeditated murders
So where you join the line?
don't
Yeah,
deserve
that
capital
means
punishment.
there
I'm
is-
saying there's a
yeah.
grey area, but at least
you
those
can't
who,
have,
which
you
are
can't have a grey
premeditated.
area in capital punishment.
Yeah, it's either
I
it
think
is
what
or isn't.
Sang- I think what Sang is trying to say is
At the very least,
capital punishment
premeditated.
exists.
And also, I was going to say, sorry, before you have the point.
Yeah.
Does capital punishment only reside for just murder? because what if it was extreme torture, as you were saying, rape, multiple people, they had like sex trafficking, like there's a whole different type of like things that are not legal, that are wrong.
Yeah.
That some people would say are so immoral that it deserves capital punishment as well.
I think for me personally, at least death, like murder, deserves capital punishment. As for the other heinous crimes, possibly you give some capital punishment, but I can see the other side where they can be rehabilitated. Blah blah blah.
What's the whole point of capital punishment
That's
then?
crazy.
Wait. What's the
For
whole
me, to get rid of these people from society, but
And
also
do
for
they-
justice
is-
for those who are
is that-
affected.
Okay, but is that first part not done by them being in prison? Yeah.
Yes, possibly. But the second part is
Possibly. If
not.
they're in prison
But
for
the
life,
second part
then
is not.
Yeah,
Where
second
it's
part,
justice
fair
for
enough.
those families.
But what makes you so entitled
got-
to vengeance like that? What makes you
Because-
just because someone's killed someone in your
Because
family?
if
What makes
someone's
you so
if someone's
entitled to
taking
that?
my daughter or my son's life, I want that person dead.
But
Right,
also,
that's-
so you don't think that if someone was like a serial rapist?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No. I'm saying you're saying that if someone kills one person, they can't be rehabilitated. But if someone is a serial rapist, they can be rehabilitated.
I draw the line at murder, but I can also include things like rape, as in like a baseline, as in like at least with murder, 100%.
I mean, but you have
Capital
to
punishment.
think about it. You have to think about
Rape
it.
is
So-
mental and physical torture.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I'm not saying no to that. But what I'm saying is, at least with murder, I think I can say like 100%. I believe these people deserve to die. As for rapists,
I
probably.
just don't get this
but
deserve thing. That's not where that's where I'm lost.
I think, but that's because I feel like prison is like a slap on the wrist for people who commit these heinous crimes. In the case that I brought up, obviously I can't like convince you that that person doesn't deserve to live, but I personally think that. And that's just the way I feel.
Do you draw a line of murder because it involves the taking of someone else's life?
I don't draw the line. I just say that's so severe that they definitely 1,000,000% deserve death.
Okay, so if they did an act that didn't cause their victim to die in that moment, but that victim later on like took their own life, would that change the punishment they get?
Again, I'm not saying people who don't commit murder don't deserve death. I didn't say that.
But he's just asking you. Does
Yeah,
this
no,
person
No.
deserve death?
I, like I said, there's like a grey area, and you need to look at each case individually, case by case.
Well, look at the case then.
Well, I'm not a judge or a lawyer, but the point is, yes, some of them will deserve death. Some won't.
Do you have like an idea of what that would be based on there?
I guess the severity of the crime, then intention's hard to prove, but
Okay,
you
so
go by the crime itself.
let's go for example. Man A rapes this woman, and the woman then kills herself because of the torture of the rape, like the
Sure.
the trauma of it.
or he rapes
Yeah.
a man.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or he rapes a man. Okay. cool.
Okay, sure.
Then man tries to kill woman. Separate. This is a different situation now. Man tries to kill woman, but is unsuccessful, but had the intent to kill. Are you killing any of those two men?
Wait, say the second one again.
So I attempt to kill Anthony, for example,
Okay,
but I'm unsuccessful in doing it.
Then that's not
even though
murder.
my full intention was to kill him,
but that's not murder.
and it's lucky that he didn't die. But even though that was my full intention, so
But
I've
it's not-
premeditated
you
to
got-
try and
you
kill him.
got- clear evidence.
You
I've
got
premeditated
premeditated
to try and kill him.
intention to murder, but that's not murder.
Yeah, but I know. I just said it's the intention to murder.
Okay.
Yeah. So do I get killed for that or no?
In my scenario, probably no, but you probably get life.
Okay.
Like, in my view, it's very similar to what we live in now. Just at the very extreme cases, these people I think deserve to die.
And when you say life in the instance where someone fails to do it, you mean like forever as well?
Or like maybe 25 years, 30 years.
Woo!
don't
That is mad. Considering
I mean,
you could be within an inch of death and you somehow survive. That's mad.
You know what it is. The only point.
This
that
person could be disfigured
I'm-
for the rest of their life or whatnot.
The only point I'm confused on is the different types of the rehabilitation, because you murder someone, like premeditated or not, whatever, but someone else does another crime for longer, like, and it's kind of, as Darren and everyone else was saying,
Mm-hmm.
has long psychological effects to the victims or
Sure,
whatever.
sure.
That person doesn't deserve.
I didn't say that. I did not say
No,
that.
I'm saying, but it's a clear like line
No,
in the
it's
sand.
not. It's not a line. I'm saying it's a baseline. So, those who do
So
this,
it's a line.
premeditated murders, definitely do deserve death. And the grey area, you need to look at each case.
See, this is
Keep it in the current laws then.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
assuming that a case is brought up for the death penalty, and then the jury then decide we don't believe this is sufficient enough,
Mhm.
doesn't that then fall back into the normal standards of imprisonment?
No, but again, like he's saying, like then it's yeah, fair enough. But that's the jury's job to decide. But he's not. He's saying because I think what his like idea is, as far as you guys' stance is, take out the death penalty altogether. Like the maximum punishment under the law will be throwing someone away for life, right?
Okay.
Like life penalty. That's what you guys are saying. As far as like, we'll give you the keys for all of these punishments, but we're taking away this death penalty one. He's saying leave that death penalty there. The people who will get that will get that after due process, but that's there.
You know what's mad, yeah? You can say that and say, okay, take that person's life, etc., whatnot. So you're not only then taking someone's life, you're putting the onus on a group of jury members to also be responsible for the taking of someone's life, plus the person who also kills the person who is then responsible for that person's taking that person's life.
Well, they're not involved. Like I
They're
know
not
what you're
involved,
saying. I
but
know what
they're
you're
the cause
saying.
of it.
No,
The vehicle for
no,
it.
then-
They're the vehicle for it.
No.
And the person who
No,
pulls
but see,
the
this is the
chair
thing.
or whatever, he's
This-
responsible or she's responsible.
Yeah, but
At what point do we then say, okay, he's taken his life, now we need to take his life?
so what?
Where
you're
do we
sa-
stop?
No, where do we stop? Is that is a consequence of
Because is that
the-
not conspiracy at that point?
no
If they're helping
because
them to murder.
no.
See, I
well,
wouldn't agree with that.
Not
If it's,
conspiracy, but like, I kind of.
No, but what I'm saying is, as far as like Darren, because I get your point about where is the line?
Yeah.
Because again, at the end of the day, it's just murder, but murder sanctioned by the state. And I'm saying the difference is that bit, that little by the state, is the difference between just a vigilante or revenge or whatever. Because we as society, we as a group of humans, have ceded that power centrally. And there's no other ultimate being that's going to come down, like everyone will acknowledge as impartial or whatever. Like, as best as human society is, the highest form of like sort of just reform that we know is ourselves. And so the best we'll do is appoint, again, like this is how jury system works as far as I understand, random people from the citizenry, because again, these are the people these people have to live amongst. So we'll pick up these random people, and they, given a set of prescriptions that everyone agrees to, like i.e. the law, these are the set of prescriptions that we accept as humane, right? And then we'll go from there. But Sang is arguing, as far as that list of punishment goes, like leave the death penalty thing there, because it's the same thing what you're saying about. Okay, well, if they kill them, at what point is okay? We're throwing this person away for life. We still get to decide that. Like, what gives you?
But that's mad.
No, but
when you think about it, that's mad because you're then.
But
you're
that's
gi- you're
human
giving-
society from like as
I
far as
know.
like just us
Yeah, I
together. That's
know.
the whole thing of government. Because take away murder and punishment, none of that.
Yeah.
Governments are there to regulate how we
Like,
do,
you
like
know
how
what,
we
yeah.
do
You know what's
anything.
what's
else.
mad?
Resources.
In everything you said, when you said, "Oh, murdered by state," that was when it's like, yeah, that is mad, because it's like, oh, how far does that go? Because it's like, okay, clearly we've deemed that this is enough, where okay, this was bad, blah blah blah. But what if something that was bad back then, or something that's bad now might not have been bad back then? So as society moves forward, there will be things that will be like, okay, actually, this deserves death. Oh, that deserves death. Oh yeah, and then that deserves death.
Yeah, but so that's the thing.
And how far do we go?
Yeah, you're saying how far do we go, but there's no. It's either we go that far based on those prescriptions, or we don't go at all. Choose which road you want to
So
go.
you don't.
So you kill or you don't. That's
No.
that's what
Like
we're saying.
what? Like who kills?
As in, like you kill the
you take away the death penalty.
death penalty
and
or
stuff.
not? Yeah.
But like again, I hear that, but this is one part of the argument. This is where I'm saying like there's both sides to it. So you guys have valid arguments as far as like we'll stop it at life. If that person is locked away for life, then
Give him a little solitary confinement.
exactly all of that stuff like that's still. And you guys are just saying, well, I hear all of that, but take away the death penalty, right? As far as like murder, let the murder stop with the person who committed the act. Like that's what you guys are saying, as far as I understand, right? Take it away. And as far as I can explain Sang's point, that's what he was trying to say. Now, with me, as far as me agreeing, because there's a difference, and this is where I wanted to like take away the whole deserve thing with you. Like that's not even where I'm coming from with this, as far as who deserves to die and who doesn't. But the death penalty for me is what Sang was saying about I don't want these people in society, and that's the whole idea of sending them away for life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the sending them, like the death penalty for me is it's more of like the ultimate assurance of not having them integrate in society ever again.
I mean, life
That's where
imprisonment does
it doesn't, because do you know why? Because where are they going to be in that life prison? Like all you're doing now is devoting resources into making sure the security systems continue to hold them and keeps them there for the entirety of their life. Now, if you can tell me, because ultimately the guarantee that these people don't get reintegrated in society is death. If you can tell me you're guaranteeing that for whatever system we're putting them in, they are never coming to mingle in society again. That's where I'm like, okay, fine, take away the death penalty.
What about then the whole point of prisons being, one, I guess, rehabilitation, and two, trying to learn what makes these people the way they are? That is
understood. Like that.
If we
prisons for me are valuable. Prisons for me are valuable for
if we just kill
a
them,
number
that
of
gets rid of
things.
that.
I hear you. Prisons for me are one of two things.
And why don't we just kill the people who are kind of more like? It will get to a point. Why don't we just kill the people that are more likely to do it? So we just
No. But again, it builds into that whole. No. It builds. That's a different subject.
Because that is kind of where it kind of goes.
No, it's not. It's not because
that's eventually where it would go. Yeah.
No. I'm saying
it's not
because
one,
it's
two.
then you're saying, oh, how? Okay, so if
How do
you've
we
got
prevent it rather than
in the interest of saving money, which is basically what you just said.
no, but again, I'm not talking about like the whole money thing as far as like how do we guarantee they don't come back. I don't care how much it takes to keep them. If what we're doing is taking a death penalty, spend everything as long as my thing is these people can't be allowed to mingle in society ever again. That to me is like that's the life penalty, and I'm saying the only way to guarantee that is the death penalty, right?
What
Like,
do you mean?
because again, like people could escape. I'm not going to say it's happening. People could escape prison. People could there's parole exists, and then what's to say they don't revert back into that nature again? Like however old they are.
There's
Life
life
without
without
a
parole.
possibility of
No,
parole.
again, like, that's true, but again, they're being held in prison until their life, and these people can escape. Like all I'm
When
saying,
was the last time someone broke out of a maximum security prison? Like, let's be
bro,
honest.
you're saying that, but we don't know if they escape. Like, would they report
But
it?
you-
Would
you
they tell you?
you
Would they
wouldn't-
expose their own?
You wouldn't bet your life.
failures?
You wouldn't bet your life on that. No,
I wouldn't bet my life on it, but that's
No,
what I would.
it's
have.
No, but
It's a
this
good
is the
bet.
point.
It's a
This
good
is the
bet,
point
but-
because
No,
if that
I wouldn't
person
have capital
escapes,
punishment
someone
anyway.
else is going to pay for that. As far as
I'm
their
not
life
really
goes.
in for prisons anyway, but that.
And the
I'd
other
rather
thing-
have prison than capital punishment.
No, but
like,
the other thing with prisons for me is, as far as what you guys are talking about with rehabilitation and stuff, to me, rehabilitation isn't the point of prison.
it's supposed
It's
to
a,
be.
no. It's a consequence of it. Like it's another benefit of it. Like because you have these people confined, then you have the opportunity to rehabilitate them. The point of prison is to separate. It's not again. You're taking away these bad elements from society. You're reducing the chance that they get to perpetrate this crime, but also influence others to do the same thing. That's the point of prison.
Which is the whole point why we don't need capital punishment then.
No, but again, listen to me.
I don't know about
no,
removing them
but
from
no,
society
bro,
to stop
bro.
them from like affecting society. Like
Okay, why do you think
affecting
prisons
that.
exist?
That's well,
Like,
I
again,
know
if they're there,
prisons
you
exist
have the
because of
opportunities
slavery,
to
if you wanna get
rehabilitate
there,
them and all
but,
of
you know.
that. But what you're
I don't
saying
even wanna
about
go
like
today.
that's the point of life, right? Like you've removed them, but why do you need the death penalty? Like that's why I said for me the death penalty goes away from Sang's angle about like they deserve to die or any of this. I'm saying
What happened there? What's that, Anubis?
Destination drive is running low.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It's fine.
Spanish.
It's fine.
okay. So I'm not even going on that whole deserve thing because like I said,
like 87 megabytes left.
shit.
Where?
There.
Oh, that's fine.
How is it?
87 megabytes is not fine. With
Nah, bro, it's coming up. Like I've got the drive in my bag. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't change the destination now.
what?
Yeah, because it's
Just pause. and
it's
start.
already it's already.
No. We let Sang off the hook. We let Sang off the hook.
Yeah.
You telling me I stumbled over premeditated for him to just sit back the whole time? No, bring your ass to the floor, bro.
Yeah.
No, I
So-
was gonna hit Anubis' point actually because what you said about the whole the skewness, right? Are you saying it could be skewed in either way or skewed in innocence way? If someone doesn't believe in it.
Skewed. Like,
So which way? So
it's skewed.
like either side, right?
Yeah.
Positive and negative, right?
Yes.
No, it's not just like one side. Which
Yeah,
is
like
possible.
if someone could want to say
So you
yes.
say
to
if-
something.
Someone could get off
all the
when they
jurors-
deserve more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, or
It's skewed.
you say like all the jurors want, they believe in death penalty, so they believe that this person should get.
Yeah, like racism, for example. Like they might want him to die because he's
Yeah,
black.
so that's a flaw, obviously, in my opinion, in the system. I think there should be like 3 sets of juries who all like kind of collectively decide. That averages out kind of.
That's just long because
Oh,
again,
really?
one jury is made up of a bunch of people.
'Cause you
What's
have
the
to make
difference
up-
You
between-
already want to kill
What's the
people to
difference
save
between-
money.
yeah,
You wanna
like,
add
yeah,
more
just
juries.
to
Like, what's
avoid
the
that
difference in
scenario.
having more juries?
Look, unless
But
the
my
fact
point
that
is-
you don't know that it's 100% evidence and evidence, regardless, in it, like you actually don't know if it's 100%.
No, but you've just said it's guilty. That's
but,
like
you could be guilty. You could be like, there's many people who have been.
no, but no. What
who
your
have-
what
who-
your
who
words
are
were
guilty that did not do it.
no,
Like,
but
we
no,
know that.
that's not your words. Your words were all this thing we're talking about.
Without
This, we know these
equivocation.
people did it.
No, but
That's what you said.
no, but
Am I
I'm
lying
saying,
or not?
I'm saying.
That's the
I
premise we're going off of because
he
again
said
we,
without-
I had a point
we
before
accept
that. I had a point before
yeah,
that, and I
but
forgot
we
it
accept we accept that all
You're
these
talking
people
about
are
something else.
innocent and stuff.
Let him speak.
Yeah.
I think that. Nah, go on, carry on what you
Oh,
said.
okay.
It'll remix it.
Yeah, like because I'm saying like we accept like the whole that people could be innocent, all of that, but he made the point when he stood up and said like we're saying all of this with we know they did it.
No,
but
I'm
we're
saying-
trying to get to the point of do we kill them?
No. I'm saying all the evidence in the world can prove that the person done it, but we actually don't know unless there's actually like video footage, video, audio, and blah blah blah. Like unless you actually have that, all the other evidence, all the other evidence,
Okay.
like, clear, not CCTV, London CCTV. I mean, clear. cut,
Yeah.
4K.
Okay.
Then it's okay, but apart from that, it's like a lot of the stuff is kind of you really don't know if it's 100%,
Yeah.
and because of that, to do something that is 100%, like kill someone,
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah,
What if you have the
That is
100%?
it, and that is
What
it.
if you have the 100%?
Which is what I
You have the
Crazy.
video in 4K.
I argue. I agree. Like,
Wait.
that's why
What
I
if they
argue.
have the video in 4K?
You're caught in 4K killing someone.
I don't believe in capital punishment, so I still wouldn't.
No,
be,
but
I still wouldn't be life and no parole. That's what I'm for. That's
Okay.
what I'm for.
I'm saying that's the equivalent of me killing them, in my mind.
Yeah,
That statement. That's it. Everything else that you're saying. Let's say like you're in charge of the judicial system, and
So what?
You-
So,
you
okay,
make
but
the
what
correction
if
for
what if you?
painted it.
Would you be able to, like, in his question, be able to pass the judgment or like decide if someone was to die or not? Say if you were a judge. Would
If
you-
I was a judge.
yeah, let's say if you were a judge, because as we said, the jury can't decide if someone dies or not.
And
so if
also-
you were a
Sure,
judge,
so if the jury.
Also, one more question.
Yeah, go on.
Do you lot take into circumstance before the act when you?
That's not my
Yeah.
job.
Do that.
That's the job of the lawyers because again, this is what this is all leading up to like the case and like
So
We talk about as jurors.
I'm just talking about yourselves in it. As
Okay,
like,
if-
you know what I mean?
Okay,
okay.
Do you look at how we got to that point of how the person killed the person
Of course.
and all of that taken into
Of course.
account into this?
You
Or
have
is it
to.
just, or is it just okay here in this moment?
No.
Yeah.
It's not. It can't be that. Like you can't like for me
Okay,
anyway.
so,
It can't be
okay,
that.
so if we're taking all of that into consideration,
Mhm.
does that not add a lot of subjectivity into the equation?
Of course it does. But again, you're asking me as a personal person. Like that was the specific statement. You're
Yeah.
asking me as a personal
Yes,
person.
I've
That's
always
the
been asking you
answer.
as a personal
But
person.
it's different when you're speaking to an entire system because yes, it's subjective, but there are a bunch of objective guidelines for how you go about meting out that
Yeah,
punishment.
but all of those guidelines are gotten to some point by some sort of subjectivity. You know what I mean? Like,
Not really, because
it
again,
is.
if you're saying that, then
It is.
in no in anything involving humans, you can't have any level of objectivity.
Because even right now,
Because-
we're all of us are subjective in capital punishment.
I hear
means
you,
that
bro. I hear
there's
you, but
some
we're not talking.
people
We're not
in
talking
these
about.
laws-
Yeah, but we're not talking like if you're saying that, and if we accept that as truth, right? Then I have to logically conclude that in anything we do, there's no level of objectivity anywhere whatsoever because humans are involved.
I mean,
If
most.
that's what you're gonna tell
Well,
me,
kind
then
of
I can't-
everything is subjective apart from like math and physics and all that kind of shit. Like,
No, because even that's
Yeah,
can
we
be
made
subjective
that
because you
ourselves.
still made that up.
yeah, I mean,
Like so that unless that's the world you're trying to paint, which I don't believe in. Like you can have objectivity in a set of stuff. Like I don't know if you jive with that as well, but I'm just saying like that's just not.
I probably
Yeah,
agree with
That's
you
just
on that
not
point.
like we're not living in that world.
nah, I don't agree with that.
But
But I see where you're coming from, though. You're basically saying if there's any subjectivity, I don't want to be. I don't want any part of that to lead to someone's death.
Yes.
But you have to see precious side, which is
No, he's saying if it's 100% certain, and I'm saying there's no way of like
No, but you just
even
told me a way
okay, I'm
with
saying
4K.
and even if there is,
Well, even
there
if
is
they're
too,
caught in
there's
4K.
too much subjectivity even before that.
even if they're caught in 4K.
Even if they're caught in 4K, it's like I don't agree with it because if it happens in one instance, then it happens in something that is even more severe, but
Yeah.
there is no 4K,
Let
and
me-
it captures the emotions of everyone in
Yeah.
the court and blah blah all that type of shit.
Let me pose a question
Like-
to you guys
Mhm.
with this
Not
whole
with it.
because I think the ultimate thing here, and correct me if I'm wrong, is just people having the license to
kill.
declare another person's death, state or no state.
Mhm.
That's the issue here as far as death punishment, right?
Mhm.
Now, let's go into the medical field.
Okay. You talk about life support.
yes
euthanasia.
and, like yes and no, but it could be anything. I'm not sure about what the process is, but let's use life support.
Okay.
Like deciding whether or not to unplug someone, for example.
The
or
patient decides that.
two people have a certain set of diseases. You have only one medication.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you save? That kind of thing. Whereas like you as a human, doctor or whether or not you hand that responsibility over to the family, whatever. Life and death. And again, let's make these strangers. Because again, you take away the subjectivity of I'm asking the family and it's the family's wishes. I want to remove all of that. Like these are two strangers in A&E.
Yeah.
You only have the capacity to save one of those two people.
Um,
How is that different from making that decision? Because you will have to make a conscious decision, or you two people die in front of you.
One's
Where
a
you gonna save
punishment.
one?
One's
It's either you save one or you kill both.
And one's
So-
a punishment, like you said.
exactly. One's a punishment. One's like you have to choose. Like choosing one person over another person, like that's a difficult choice.
Yeah.
But like being like, oh, you did this thing, therefore because of that, we're going to do this thing to you. But where this one is like, we don't have enough resources enough for both people. I'm only one person. I can only do so much. So your choice might be
No, I agree. As
your
far as
choice
bad
might
example,
seem
yeah.
like, oh, by saving this person, I'm condemning this other person.
Yeah,
But like,
I hear that. That's
You know,
about
it's like oh, I don't know, maybe it's like kind of voting for or against abortion, because for example, like us as men, we wouldn't have to abort a baby because we don't carry babies, etc. But we can have an opinion or have a vote on if we agree whether it should be outlawed or not. And that doesn't necessarily entirely affect us because you might not have a girlfriend, you might not have kids, etc., etc. But that will happen to like other women out there. So this example of capital punishment. Us talking about
that's a better example.
It's a kind of similar
That's
thing,
a better example
because it might not directly impact us because we're obviously we're not part of the judicial system, etc. But it's a similar type of
conundrum, I guess.
Yeah.
I like that parallel because that's a better one than me trying to do the doctor thing.
Yeah.
Because in a way,
okay. I was a bit lost there.
oh,
No,
okay,
I was just thinking of
like
it is a
that
better
that is a better comp as far as like the whole choosing
yeah.
and that's it. Honestly, in my mind, that's even murkier.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Like that's
saying,
murkier in my mind compared to say like capital punishment, like or not, because again, there's at least some kind of like evidence trail as far as like what's informing your decision. Unless you're out here
I
just
did
like
want to get
dishing it out.
your thoughts on Anthony Darren and why you just don't agree with it.
Well, like I said,
We heard that.
number one, like killing people for killing people is a bit mad in my eyes. Like if we're going off based off what laws are based on, which is religion and stuff, then obviously religion teaches us not to kill. We're just taught not to kill from a young age. So why should someone be killed as a punishment for a crime which may not even be killing? In my head, it's just mad. I can understand it, obviously, like what you said with vengeance and emotion and shit like that. But if I was given a choice, I would say no, they don't deserve death, because them being locked up for life, like you said, is like death. Their ability to breathe or not doesn't really affect me as long as they're not on the streets and they don't have a possibility of being in the streets. But again, their ability to breathe or not doesn't affect me as long as they're not about. So for me, if like you said they're already dead, why also kill them? Like that don't really make sense.
That's why I said it's not even a deserve thing. Like the only reason it's there for me is to avoid that possibility of that. If you're telling me, like I said this, if you could tell me there is no way these people will leave here for the rest of their life, I don't care.
That's fine.
Because that's the point. That's the point. Like they're not.
But killing
influenced
someone
society.
based on a 0.0000001% chance of them escaping prison is mad, in my opinion.
Yeah, but do you know
That's
it's a
crazy.
0.00001?
Huh?
Do you know if it's a 0.00001?
That's crazy.
Like unless you're giving me like
It's very low. It's very low in
And you know what's
maximum,
mad?
maximum security prisons.
The fact that you will have trust in the state to kill them, but you won't have trust in the state to just keep them there for time,
is
is mad. That's
not
crazy.
really. No,
That's
actually,
crazy. That's crazy.
no, it's not, because again, like I'm not even. I'm not. No, but listen, I'm not.
To
I'm
get
not.
it right.
Yeah, but I'm not
100%
trusting. Yeah, but do you know? I'm not trusting the state to get it right. It's just a point in fact. I'm relieving you of the responsibility to keep an eye on this person that we've all condemned, as opposed to if I leave you in charge of these people, there are a billion things that could go wrong, and I'm just taking that away from your hands. As far as the state, like it proves my point as far as like not even trusting them at all. I don't trust you to keep this person here and not integrate them, is what I'm saying.
But you trust them enough to be 100% right all the time. That's kind of what you would have to do if you're hoping for capital punishment.
No, I'm trusting the system, and I don't want to use trust, but we'll use that word because that's effectively what it is. I'm trusting the system that's deemed them unequivocal, like on what's the word? Inappropriate to be in society or
Wait.
unacceptable to be in society.
Question then. I know.
And those are those are two. I'm really sorry.
That's fine.
Those are two different levels of like capabilities, by the way. Whether or not you can like design systems that will like keep people there, and how you design systems to make sure people are found guilty or not guilty. Those are not the same. Like I can trust that you know something. I can't trust you to do the exact same thing. Like football, I can trust you to break down a game. I don't know if I'll trust you to like play a 90-minute game and like bet my life on like.
Yeah, but we're all
what
part
you
of the
do.
FA though.
No, but my point is there's two levels of like trust there.
So,
There's a difference in what you're
so
saying.
you trust one aspect of the government
Exactly, like
you
more
trust
than
the
I
other
trust
aspect.
the other, and that's what I'm saying. And I'm only giving them that right based on a very, very, very small subset of like sentencing. That's my point.
Wait, Anthony, this question.
I mean, for me, I don't feel like anyone has the like righteousness to be able to dictate whether or not someone else can choose to live or not. Obviously, you can then like extrapolate and like, oh, does anyone actually have the right to sentence someone to prison? But with something as delicate as life, I feel like we should deal with that with a lot more intricacy than like, oh, if someone does something as like for me, the extent of the law should only go to imprisonment. And I've got where my mind works. So instead of capital punishment, for me personally, for cases that are proven and for people who have been deemed like these are like the psycho killers like Ted Bundy and whatever. But for those people, I feel like it might seem barbaric, but chop off the dominant hand, the dominant foot. So if they do ever get reintegrated back into society, you can A, identify them, and B, I'm not as scared of someone who's got a weak hand and a weak foot.
All right.
I mean, that's just me.
For example, I like that.
That's just-
you know why I like that?
I mean, they're not dead.
No,
I
but
said I like
listen,
that.
No, but do you know why? Because again, we started this whole thing with me saying ultimately I agree with it, but I'm kind of but I'm saying if that's a possible thing, then I'm like take away the death penalty altogether.
Yeah.
As far as you give them life with no possibility of parole, and you do that, fine. If they get it, if they escape with the 0.01%
That's
chance,
overkill then, because
how is that overkill?
yes,
You're not killing them.
Listen to what he said. He said there would be allowed back in society with no hand and no foot.
No.
You
Did you say they would
I
then
said-
be allowed, or if they came back?
If they came back.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
cool.
That's
So,
different.
like,
and I'm
what
saying
you
that's
said
cool.
was in prison with no possibility
Possibility
for
of
parole,
parole.
and no arm and leg.
I'm saying and do the no arm and leg because again, you're not like again whether or not they drop, we're not killing them. And if they escape, which is my whole my whole thing, my whole fear,
so you want to mark
then
them?
we can still that's what I'm saying. You
Okay,
can identify them, and it's not even about the mark.
It's more for safety than it is to mark them.
Alright, okay.
That's my point. It's like if
Why
we're
stop there? Why not like cut off their vocal cords so they can't speak? Like,
No.
You had a medieval.
So
now we start getting into torture.
I'm just
There's always a degree of separation. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
always
yeah,
there's
of
always
course.
a metric. You know what I mean? There's always
Yeah,
a
but like
spectrum.
honestly, I think your solution
mean,
is pitch
you know-
perfect.
you
If
know
we're gonna
it's-
eliminate the death penalty, I'm for that.
You know what is mad as well though? Like in some, like in crime, like for example, if we're using say you kill someone, you die as an example. Why, as crazy as it will sound, why is it then if I rape someone, I don't get raped as a mimic of the crime? Why is that not a thing?
Because clearly this is eye for an eye.
That's exactly.
I mean, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying if you dismember someone.
That's not where I'm coming
I'm not saying if you dismember someone, you should also be dismembered. I'm saying
That's not what I said. I know what you're saying.
Okay,
It's completely
okay,
different.
you
Yeah.
talk-
But
okay.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
as an
he's-
example.
yeah.
I'm not saying
Oh, I
it's
see.
exactly eye for an eye, but
Why does
it's-
death equal death but not rape equal rape or like?
That's
Okay,
because in my
okay.
scenario, death doesn't equal death. I'm not saying people who get the life with possibility of parole only committed death. I'm saying whatever you committed and we've put you through the courts, if that's the thing they came up with, then you become a prime candidate for that. Like the whole thing with what you're saying goes more to science argument as far as like if you kill someone, you deserve to die.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm not even on that energy. Like that's not where I'm coming from. I'm just saying everything
I think
exists
that was
as
my
it does.
baseline. I didn't say that was my.
Yeah,
Do
but
you
that's- again,
want
that's
to improve on your baseline?
wait.
No, my baseline was those who commit premeditated murders should face capital punishment. But I did say there was a grey line,
That's very messy.
which is what Precious was saying. Basically, offences which can give you like life. They can give you like life without parole. Like those offences some of them will be given capital punishment.
You were
Depending
making
on
a
the severity.
you're making a point earlier as well. Like
Severity.
Against a whole bunch of other people.
and these are just for extreme,
You know-
like Ted Bundy's and stuff. I'm not saying for like, oh, you manslaughter. Oh,
yeah.
I'm saying like if you're like deemed irredeemable.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, at that point, why stop there? Like,
No. See, you keep saying why stop there?
no, because it's like, because it was up to you
House of Bolton
that you
shit.
chose a hand and a foot.
No, I'm saying this is my personal
Yeah,
preference.
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying this should be law. I'm just saying
Yeah.
for my comfortability, I'd rather be chased by an ex Ted Bundy with one less arm and one less foot than for him to be out there in his 60s just
You
like
know-
feeding his cats.
You know what's mad? I just read something there. It was it's a good argument, I guess, that could be made. Is that some people argue that the death penalty does more damage to the person. Sorry, not having a death penalty does more damage to the offender than a quick death would give them. Does that make sense? So they have the obviously having to. Not
Yeah,
obviously
but
all of them would be remorseful.
at that point,
Not all of them
what-
would be remorseful,
Yeah.
but you still have to then obviously live in prison, which is not the same. Which, yeah, I guess you can argue.
And I
that both
imagine
ways.
doing that with one less arm and one less foot. Your dominant one as well. Like brushing your teeth is going to be difficult for the rest of your life.
Innit? Like,
I mean, that's a lot of time to repent.
Anthony's hit it on the
But-
head. Solution, like again, take away the hand and the foot. Whatever it is that we take away, I just need to know
That's better
if
than death.
I agree.
Yeah,
and if that happens, whatever it is, I'm just saying that needs
I
to
don't know
be
if I'd
significant.
advocate for it, but
No. Like, I would advocate for it.
I mean, if I had to choose between that
If you had
and
to
death,
choose,
yeah,
exactly.
I'd advocate for it.
That's a
I
wild
know lot of
choice.
things that are not definite, like, but I don't think
Yeah.
that is.
I would choose that.
That would you choose that then?
that borders
Wait,
on-
so what would you do?
I said that I'm not deaf.
yeah, I'd rather die if I was in that position.
I'd
I'd rather die.
So I'm doing you a favor.
Punishment.
It's punishment,
Because
but
but that's if we're subscribing to eye for an eye type stuff. It's kind of like you have to do or you don't. I can't dip my foot in over here and dip over there.
With one less foot.
the weaker foot.
With my right foot. Nah.
I'm sorry. I'm really honestly. The more I think about Anthony's idea, I am on it. I'm not. I don't know if I don't know if I'm on the hand and foot.
Listen,
I'm just more
pray
make them.
Pray for his children. Pray for his children.
Hey man, pray for them because if your prayers work, they'll be upstanding members of society.
They'll be the judge.
Like pray for them because they'll be upstanding members of society. If you don't pray and these men are out here fucking up, take them away, please. Like I'm sorry. Like I'm.
Nah,
very-
you know what? The only thing that confuses me is just the fact that you trust some parts of government,
That's not
but not other
illogical.
parts of government.
That's not illogical.
It is illogical.
You talking about saying?
No, not the way.
Me. It's
when,
not.
when we're dealing with capital punishment. I won't get to you in a bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but
that's,
again,
that's
like,
the only thing that because if you agree that okay, yeah, what law is law and that is that, then
No,
I
but-
understand.
yeah, but
your-
like,
your point.
yeah. But you're asking me like a very feasible question of whether or not we should do away with the death penalty in the 21st century as it exists. I'm sorry. Outside of what Anthony's solution was, I'm saying, given that circumstance, that's the only part I would put it in. I wouldn't just like leave it as like up to like just any kind of crime and you can give someone a death penalty for anything. I'm saying the only time that would even be a discussion would be with those. I can't have these people reintegrated in society.
I mean, to be honest, that is the point of the death penalty anyway. Like they're not giving death penalty for stuff that isn't severe. So
No, again, that's my point. Like I'm saying,
so it's kind of like all the people that are kind of up for death penalty then.
well,
Because
yeah, it's like like
you're not up for death penalty if you're not in the severe case anyway.
That's what I'm saying. That's again the ultimate statement here is that's why boiling it down. I'm
So you're for it, yeah.
I started with that. I'm for it, but again, given those modifications based on what like if what Anthony said was the case, as far as like okay, if we take out the death penalty, this is what we'll do. I'm against it. I'm against it. I'm not. This is not something I'm holding on to. It's like I'm against it because ultimately, what I'm trying, the reason why I'm for it ultimately is how safe do we want to make society ultimately? Because that's the thing that's important.
Oh, we're getting back into the chips.
In it, like
Again,
how
back
safe
into
do we
the
want to make
chips.
society? If that's the step
How
that
does
I feel
killing
like
someone-
is like goes the furthest in
You know
making
what?
society safe,
I feel like we should chip them too. Might as well.
in it, like right, you forfeited your right to have like complete freedom.
Oh,
Chip,
so you're saying.
chip, hand and foot gone.
Wait, so are you saying that the person then has no human rights?
No,
Not human rights. Again, your basic human rights are still there, but again, like your right to
Right to walk.
no, you lose the
They
right
got
to
no
some of
right
that freedom.
rights.
You lose some of your rights, but
And
not your
that's-
basic human rights. That's like again, like you lose some of that because I'm not gonna start like it's the same thing with like. You know, people have been involved in like terrorist activities and shit, but then you give them freedom to go on the internet. Like you caught them one time.
Again, I didn't hear that.
Like it's like catching someone for like being like inciting terrorist acts and like being involved in terrorist organizations and like giving them you catch them and they go through the law. You rehabilitate them to some extent, and then you're like,
that's another thing because to be honest, I don't believe that they can be rehabilitated.
okay, so okay,
I believe some people.
That's the same.
No, I believe that, but I'm not necessarily saying that they should die. I'm not saying they should die though.
no, but follow
like
my
the
example.
example
them in
from
prison,
the internet.
In it, like follow my
Okay.
yeah, follow
That's
my
what I'm
example.
doing.
I'm saying like okay, I no,
catch me out like that, please.
Anubis, wait. So in my example, right? You catch these people, and they serve their time or whatever. Like Anthony is saying, they cut their hands and limbs, and they're out. Right? They can mingle with society now. I'm saying I'm still monitoring your internet activity. Like you don't have to.
You'd have to monitor.
This is my point. You
activity
lose that freedom. You
of
lose that freedom
someone
of
who's
privacy.
up for capital
You
punishment.
lose that freedom of like that
Yeah,
right
that's
of privacy.
that's
you know,
kinda
right?
right.
That's what I'm saying. As far as the same thing as like,
that's kinda
would you lose your human? Like, nigga, you lose that freedom.
No, that's different. I was talking
It's
about
not.
human. I was talking about human rights in prison.
Yeah, I'm
not
not.
human
I'm not
rights.
taking,
Not human rights while you're outside going to the shop.
yeah, but yeah, human rights in
Seven
prison.
people.
Human rights in prison. Okay, if in my mind, you still lose that. I'm sorry.
Listen, the only ever time I would
One division.
advocate for the death penalty is for the way premeditatively beat me up earlier. I can't even say it again.
I've got a clearer version now.
Wait, let me. Premeditatively.
No,
Yeah.
No.
premeditatively.
This is karma for when you
It is
tried it on me.
premeditatively. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
his neck as well. I was like, oh,
You said it that time.
premeditatively. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Yo, that word is mad.
Premeditatively.
Do you know what it was? Because I was trying to say it, and someone said premeditated, and I was like, no, it's premeditatively.
That was me. I showed you how to do it, but you tried to do it wrong anyway.
Oh shit! I think I'm trying to put me up.
What's the time?
Yeah, it's alright, guys. Man. It's half eight.
Yeah, like 10 to 9.
Shit.
Yeah.